Okay, welcome everyone. Do some singing first. It's very important to do singing because we're going to be learning about the Song of the Sea. That is what we're going to be learning about because that is our parsha, that's our subject. Welcome again, everyone. This coming Shabbos is Parshat Beshalach, and it has a special name, Shabbat Shira, the Shabbos of song. Now, in the whole year, there's only a handful of Shabboses that have a special name other than the Parsha. This week's Parsha is Shabbat Shira because of the Song of the Sea. We have Shabbat Chazon, that's the Shabbos before Tisha B'Av, where we read a special Haftorah that has the word Chazon, the vision, the Shabbos of vision. Then we have the Shabbos after Tisha B'Av, which is called Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbos of consolation. Then we have the Shabbos between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is called Shabbat Shuvah, the Shabbat of return. All of these are from the Haftorah. Shabbat HaGadol, the Shabbos before Pesach, is called the Great Shabbos. All of these are named after the Haftorah that we read, except this week. This week is the only one that's called because of the actual Parsha. And the Song of the Sea is considered one of the high moments in Jewish history. And in fact, in the morning service and the evening service, it incorporate part of the song right before saying the Amidah, the Shemona Esrei. So it was a pinnacle moment. It was an epiphany, a vision, a revelation. And that's what we're going to be learning about. But before we get to the C, I want to we're going to learn two different things tonight. Something that happened before we sang and then the song itself. But first, we're going to do what led up to the singing. So Israel leaves Egypt, and 3 days later, the Egyptians say, like, what did we do? We let all of our slaves go. Very short memories. They couldn't remember the 10 plagues. They didn't remember why they let the Jews go. But short memory, they start chasing after the Jews, were caught at the sea. And in an incredible verse, the people are crying out. Moshe assures them, God will come to your rescue. Everything will be okay. And then the next verse, God says to Moshe, Ma titzak alai, why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to go. So Rashi asks the obvious question. It's not explicitly mentioned, but obviously Moshe, after assuring the people, he's crying out to God. What are we going to do here? The Egyptians are coming and the sea is in front of us. God says, why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to move, go forward. So Rashi asks the obvious question, what else is Moshe to do? Aren't we taught in times of trouble, we turn to Hashem and we pray, which is true. But here God is saying, why are you crying out to me? Not why are you praying, but specifically, why are you taking a long time in prayer? What is needed now is for the people to move. In other words, now is not the time for a long prayer. So this might seem like a very simple thing, but it's teaching us something very, very important. And of course, this whole series is called Growing Through Exodus. What can we learn from this? Of course, we're supposed to pray to Hashem. And we learned that Yaakov, when he was in a tight situation, he was going to meet Esav the next day. Rashi tells us he did three things. And these three things is a paradigm for each individual and for the Jewish people. It says that he sent gifts to Esav. In other words, he tried to make peace with Esav. He tried to, in Hebrew, lefayes, to please Esav. He split his camp and he prepared for war and he prayed. And we're told to this day, this is the best advice to everyone. And it's mirrored in what God is saying to Moshe. Of course, I want you to pray to me. But right now, you need to act. And this is what's called in Hebrew, hishtadlut. In other words, as much as we depend on God for everything, God is always saying to us, you have free will. You need to do what you need to do. It's not enough to just pray. You need to act in this world. So that is what God is telling Moshe. Tell the people to go forward. And in the same Rashi, though, it's very paradoxical. God also says to him, this whole thing depends on me. So the Rashi is sending a double message. First, he says, God says, don't pray so long. Now is not the time for long prayer. You need to do something. You need to act. Many jokes about God sending signals to save a person, and each time the person ignores the signal and it continues to pray. And in the end, God says, listen, I sent you all these ways to save yourself. You didn't take any of them. All you did was pray. We have to take advantage of the help that God is providing for us. But in the second part of Rashi, he says, this whole thing depends on me. So this is also the paradox, constant paradox of God's divine providence and our need to express our free will and act in this world. And they're both true. In the same Rashi, God is saying, this whole thing depends on me. I'll take care of everything, but I'm only going to take care of everything if you do what you have to do. And in this case, we have two different versions of why the sea split. One version is that the head of the tribe of Judah, Nachshon ben Aminadav, jumped into the water in an expression of pure faith until the water came up to his nostrils, and then it split. The other version is, not, and they're both true in a way, is it split on the merit of the bones of Yosef. They were carrying the casket of Yosef, and when the sea saw the casket of Yosef, it split. What's similar is Nachshon, he jumped into the sea in pure faith. God is going to save us. I don't see it right now. And until the water came up to here, he didn't see it. And then it split. Yosef, he had incredible Mesirut Nefesh. For those who remember, we learned this, some of you might have learned it with us, that when the wife of Potiphar was trying to seduce him, so the Midrash says it wasn't just that one woman was trying to seduce Yosef. It says the combined strength of the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination of the entire world, came at him at one time. And the only way he was able to extricate himself from it was called Mesirut Nefesh. His whole being had to resist. And so here we come to an incredible point. At the sea, there was a tremendous miracle. The waters split and we went through. But God was trying to teach us, in order for me to do a miracle for you, you have to do your part to make the miracle possible. And what is that part? It's what's called Mesirut Nefesh. It's going beyond what is ordinarily possible for you. Getting out of the box, putting your whole being into something. And Reb Shlomo Carlebach taught a beautiful idea. He said there's two types of miracles. There's God miracles and there's Jew miracles. What's the difference? A God miracle is when God creates the miracle. Sometimes we deserve it, sometimes we can't get it together, and God makes a miracle anyways. But here we're being taught that God is saying, I need you to be able to do the miracle. But Reb Shlomo was saying there are Jew miracles where we don't see the hand of God. We don't see nature changing. But through complete Mesirut Nefesh, a complete going beyond what we ordinarily feel we can do, going beyond all of our preconception of what we're capable of. And if we go beyond that, so miracles happen. Miracles happen. So everyone should remember this. Either way, there are exceptions where we don't deserve, we don't even realize, and God will do a miracle for us. We don't even realize what danger we're in. But here, the important lesson is that the power of Mesirat Nefesh, the power of going beyond, like Nachshon and like Yosef, each one in their own way had to go beyond what was ordinarily possible, and then miracles happen. It's said about I believe the Mittler Rebbe, that the wife or the daughter of the Mittler Rebbe said there were so many miracles happening around my father, no one even bothered to pick them up. In other words, his whole being was in a constant state of Mesirat Nefesh, constantly going beyond what ordinarily could be expected. And so things were happening all around him that people were like, can't believe all of this. But it became so ordinary, people didn't bother to even pick them up from the floor. There were so many. Okay, now let's get to the Song of the Sea. This is one of 10 what's called archetypal songs sung throughout Jewish history. I'm going to say them very, very quickly. We learned this from the Aramaic translation of the Song of Songs. The Song of Songs is one of the 10, but in the introduction to the Song of Songs, the Aramaic translation brings this concept of there are 10 archetypal songs sung throughout creation. So they are: Adam sang Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbos, a song for Shabbat. The Song of the Sea, which we're going to learn about right now. The Song of the Well in the book of Numbers. It's a short song, but all of Israel sang this song at the well of water. Ha'azinu, this is the song in Deuteronomy that Moshe teaches the whole people, that God revealed to him, that has the whole history of the Jewish people. And God calls it a song. Teach this song to them. Yehoshua, Joshua, when he stopped the sun, we're told that he did it through a song. The Song of Devorah, after they won the war. The Song of Hannah, when she was blessed to have a child, Shmuel. One of the Psalms, they're all songs, all the 150 Psalms are songs. One in particular, the 18th Psalm, is called the archetypal song, the Song of Songs. And we're told that 9 have already been revealed, and the 10th is waiting for Mashiach, and it's called Shir L'Hashem Shir Chadash. We will sing a new song to God. A new song will be revealed when Mashiach comes. There's 2 opinions how we sang the song at the sea. And it's both based where it says Moshe u'bnei Yisrael. Moses and the children of Israel sang the song. So one version is Moshe, the song was revealed in prophecy to Moshe, and he sang a verse, and all of Israel responded, like responsive singing. And each verse, it was Moshe and then the children of Israel. The other version, which is in a sense a little bit more mystical, was that the song was revealed in divine, what's called divine spirit, divine inspiration to all of Israel at the same time, and we all sang together. Now, this takes a stretch of imagination, But when I was thinking about it, how many times have you been listening to a teacher? I don't know, you could be watching a movie and you know just intuitively what the next sentence is going to be, the next verse, the next idea that the teacher is going to say. You're like one step ahead. So this is what's been explained, is that this vision, this divine spirit and inspiration came upon everyone at the same time, and they all sang together. We're actually taught that the experience at the Song of the Sea, that everyone saw more than Ezekiel the prophet saw when he had the vision of what's called the workings of the chariot, one of these very high mystical visions. It's actually the first chapter of Ezekiel, and we read it on Shavuos. This incredible vision he had. We're taught at the sea, everyone was on a higher level and had prophecy. So this is one of the important things about prophecy itself, is that we're taught that many of the prophets received their prophecy through song. There's much to be said about this, that one of the means through which the prophets got into the, let's say, the mind space, the head space, the consciousness, to be able to receive prophecy, was through music. So that is what happened at the Song of the Sea, that according to the idea that everyone sang together because they were receiving the vision at the same time, it was because of the music that they were able to reach such a high level. Now, there's a beautiful idea here that is connected to Moses at the burning bush. Moses at the burning bush, he asked God, when I go back to Egypt, they're going to ask, who should I say sent me? What should I tell them? And God revealed a name that's only repeated one time in the entire Bible. Ekia asher ekia. I will be that I will be. And my teacher, Rav Ginsburg, so he taught that the numerical value of this phrase, I will be that I will be, is 543. And this equals koach shira, the power of song. So what can we learn from this? What can we learn from this? So something actually very important. There is a Midrash. The Midrash is called Perek Shira. Many of you have heard of this, maybe recited this. It's a very ancient Midrash that goes through 70 creations and the song that they sing. And it's not human beings singing. The sun has a song, the moon has a song, the stars have a song, rivers have a song, wheat fields have a song, trees have a song, fruits have a song, animals have a song, insects have a song, birds have a song. It goes through 70 cardinal creations and what song they sing. So the question is, if all of creation is singing, then it means that each person is also singing. What is song? Song basically are vibrations. Music are vibrations. A string on a guitar being plucked is creating vibrations, which becomes sound waves. which are heard and then get translated into the brain as music. Or you hit the note on the piano. It causes a vibration, which is music. So every creation has a vibrational field. We know this from physics. This is pure science. Every entity of matter has a atomic molecular vibrational field. So a human being also has it. This is our aura. There actually, some people can actually see auras, but scientific experimentation has shown that there is energy, vibration coming out of every person, every entity. So what is every person's song? If every tree is singing and every star is singing, so every human being is singing. So what is our song? So our song is connected to I will be that I will be. Remember, this equals the power of song. What it means is every person has potential. Every person has purpose. Every person has a rectification to do in this world. When, and pardon the pun, but the pun here is very intentional. When we're in tune with our purpose in the world, that is when we are singing our song. Because what is happening is our whole vibrational field is in tune with our purpose, with our direction in life. What happens if we're doing things that are not in tune with what we should be doing? Is not in tune with I will be that I will be. Not in tune with me fulfilling my potential. So then the music that comes out is cacophony. We feel not good. We feel all off kilter. We're out of tune. So this is a very, very important lesson that each one of us can take and use. Every person needs to try. It's not always easy to be in tune with what am I doing in this world? What is my purpose in this world? When we find our purpose, then everything we do to advance that purpose is our song. That is the song that we're singing. Just a few other things about this song. There's so much, but it begins, Az Yeshir Moshe Ubnei Yisrael at the Shir Azot. And then Moshe and Bnei Yisrael sang this song. But what's interesting is it's in the future. Az Yashir. Then the song will be sung. So everyone asks, why is the grammar like in the future? So first of all, let's look at the word az. Then, az yashir. Then we will sing. So this word is an aleph and a zayin. Aleph equals 1, zayin equals 7. So what is happening with this song? This is just a numerical way to understand what we've been saying. 7 always represents the natural cycles, the cycle of the week, 6 days of work and then Shabbat, the cycle of the weeks that we count for Sfirat Omer, 7 times 7 weeks. 7 times 7 years. 6 years we work the land, and then the 7th we rest the land, the sabbatical year. All cycles have to do with 7. 8 always represents eternity, or one beyond the natural. So that is what we're saying is what happened at the song here. That's why it's introduced by Az. It was a prophetic moment. It was one beyond the natural world. And that is actually the nature of music. Music has the power, koach shira. The power of song has this ability to take us beyond our usual consciousness. Takes us into deep, deep inner places and ultimately can connect us to God. So this is a very, very beautiful understanding. And there's a whole discussion in the Talmud, the concept of the resurrection of the dead, Techiyat HaMeitim, is never explicitly mentioned in the 5 books of Moses. Yet the Gemara finds many, many, many different allusions, hints to this concept of the resurrection of the dead, of rebirth. And one of them is from this word, Az Yashir. And the word Yashir, we will sing, because in the future we will sing. Not just that we sang at the sea, but the same ones who sang at the sea will sing again in the future. So they said this is one of the hints of Techiyat HaMeitim in the Torah. So on a smaller level, this is the power of music also to awaken us, to revive us. How many times have we felt either very down in the dumps, or something is on our chest and we just don't know what it is. Something is bothering us. And either we'll hear a song or we'll put on some music, and all of a sudden it just changes our whole being, our whole way of looking at things. So this is the power of music, is in a sense Techiyat HaMeitim. Is it can awaken us from a deep slumber. So I'm going to end with a bracha. I want to end with a bracha, and I'm going to put the two things that we learned together, is that one of the biggest obstacles to spiritual growth is falling into rote and routine and getting used to thinking that we can only go so far, we can only accomplish so much, we can only take on so much responsibility. And we can't, our consciousness becomes ossified, like muscles can become ossified, calcified. Our spiritual growth can be like that also. And that's where Mesirut Nefesh comes in. That's how the sea split. Of course, God made a miracle, but he didn't make the miracle until we went beyond. Nachshon jumped into the water, or the sea saw the bones of Yosef, and that Yosef, against all odds, was able to flee from the entire Yetzer Hara of the entire world. For those who were here when we learned this before. So my first bracha is, we all have so much more in us than we know, than we think. We have so many reserves of holiness and energy and abilities, but we have to stretch, and sometimes it hurts to stretch. Sometimes it hurts to push ourselves that extra mile. But I want to give all of us, including myself, the bracha that we don't become spiritually ossified. We never give up trying to grow. And the second bracha is this idea of finding our unique inner song. I will be that I will be. And that we don't give up until we find what we feel is our purpose, our rectification, our fixing, our mission. And again, it does, even though we would all love to save the world, we can do this in our small world. Everyone has a small world of, call it influence. Our children, our family, our workplace, our community, our neighbors. It can be strangers that we just run into. But we all have opportunities to fulfill our potential in many, many, many different ways. So I just want to bless everyone that we find our inner song and we fulfill it